going to let them down!
そうだな、そうすっか。
Did you just hear that, Anafam? Sounds like something Goku is going through now, don't you think? That's exactly what I want to talk to you about. Let's be honest. What you just heard is a completely different Goku from the one we've seen in Dragon Ball Super. But recently, I noticed a solution to the sad changes in his personality starting to seep through, motivating me to look deeper into those changes. And what I found is the key to unlocking the mastered Ultra Instinct. The Dragon Ball Super creators have been doing a fantastic job of giving the spotlight to other characters who aren't the main character lately. And this has been a much needed change to the face of the Dragon Ball franchise. But have you noticed something kind of strange or off about the past few episodes? Goku is hardly in them. Look at Dragon Ball Super episode 124 as the perfect example. This episode was all about Gohan and Frieza joining up to defeat Dispo. Even the title had Gohan's last stand in it. Literally nothing to do with Goku. Yet they made sure to have Mr. Main Character thrown in there for, about 5 minutes of the entire episode? And to top things off, our proud hero practically just stood around, added absolutely no value to the episode. With the spotlight taken off of the main character to such a harsh extent, that warrior who overcame every struggle he ever faced has been forgotten, as has the big picture of Universe 7's dire situation. The problem is, we've been so excited to watch Goku overcome the smaller struggles of pushing his way through each higher level, making his way up the ladder to the ultimate goal, that we've been completely ignoring the bigger struggle. And then last week, the Dragon Ball Super episode 127 to 129 spoilers were released. A hard truth was included in those spoilers. Goku collapses from exhaustion. I read just that one line, and instantly, I finally realized exactly what that bigger struggle we've been missing is. In fact, we just missed it a couple of weeks ago when Toppo landed in the stands. As Dispo helped to pick up his physically and pridefully injured friend, he called out in desperation to the last person Universe 11 could depend on. We all remember Jiren's harsh words, but what stood out to me was Goku's reaction. He questioned Jiren, asking him how could he call his friends and trusted teammates pathetic. The Goku we love was actually shining through, but Jiren wasn't having it. He kicked Goku off the tall cliff, crashing his body into another one close by. But did you pay attention to what happened next? It's actually happened a couple of times recently, and it gives us a glimpse into the biggest struggle Goku is currently facing. Notice his hair. A simple kick just pushed Goku out of Super Saiyan Blue. A kick! I think it's safe to say that we all knew the heavy toll Goku's body has taken since his first awakening of Ultra Instinct, but there's something that's been harder to see. The answer is the difference between him accessing Ultra Instinct a third time from his previous 2 times. Remember the second most recent time we saw Goku pushed right out of Super Saiyan Blue? It was in Dragon Ball Super episode 123, and Goku was actually feeling really good. Even though both him and Vegeta were quite aware that it wouldn't actually eliminate him, Goku had successfully tricked Jiren and dropped him into the void. But when Jiren made his way back through a field of planted energy sparks, it was blatantly obvious that he was done playing these games. Goku had had his fun, had his chance to laugh, had his little moment of victory, but now it was time for a very real warning. A mighty punch that Maji Kaio had survived solely due to the nature of his almost liquid-based body was sent flying within inches of Goku's face. This was the same attack that once literally had Goku shaking at the mere thought of having to go up against it. This time, his vast fear is all that it took for his hair to return to normal. This fear is important because it proves to us that Goku isn't just dealing with the struggles of a very tired out body. He's also dealing with the struggles of overcoming that little voice in the back of each and every single human's mind, saying, no, you can't do it. Hard to picture such a thought popping up in Goku's mind, isn't it? But be honest with yourself. Even the strongest of people who overcome those negative thoughts every single time, Goku being the prime example, still have to do just that, overcome them. And that means those thoughts do pop up. Dragon Ball Super has made that very clear from the moment Goku met Jiren. I'm sure you remember the first thing that had us all in awe at the strength of this random Jiren guy. As all the warriors desperately jumped away from the dangerously flying stage pieces, Jiren remained like a statue. He simply closed his eyes and allowed them to pass right by him. Goku was clearly rattled by Jiren's hidden potential, but he still managed to crack a smile. Because despite everything, one of Goku's top goals has always remained the same. He loves it. It's what he lives for. It's the thrill of fighting someone better than him to push himself to get stronger. You know what this type of excitement did during this arc though? It created a false sense of morality for Goku's character. That was a classic hero statement.
Time stronger than.
Throughout the years, we've watched Goku push through hardships countless times in the attempt to save the innocent people of the planet that he called home. But when the Tournament of Power was created, that sense of heroism seemed to up and vanish. When the Grand Priest announced that the losing universes would be totally erased, yes, you saw Goku freak out, but not for long. Soon he was headed to the Zen exhibition match with a smile on his face and a big ego to match it. And when he excitedly told the other universes to bring it on, we saw the ultimate change that the Dragon Ball Super creators had done to his character. Goku was the cause, the cocky troublemaker, the evil instigator. Goku became less of a hero and more of a silly, brainless nobody. Definitely a low blow to all those fans who've supported the Dragon Ball franchise literally for decades.
Allied to good, nightmare to you.
And to think about the new generation just discovering it. The writers of the show were doing Goku's true character absolutely no justice. Why wasn't he gonna confront the Zenos about something so terrible? Especially being their closest friend. It's not like Goku to care how strong someone is. Wrong is wrong, and he's gonna challenge it, right? Well, apparently not. But surprisingly, Goku's saddening character change wasn't the end of it. The creators had an even worse change hiding up their sleeves. Yes, the fighting style changed, but that's not the problem here. The real problem starts with the Super Dragon Balls. When the Grand Priest first came to Goku and the others to explain the Tournament of Power, they smiled as they asked him what the prize would be. His reply confused them all. Nothing. Nothing would be the prize? Their questioning put the Grand Priest in a tight spot, so he gave in, and the truth of the Zeno's dark intent for this tournament was brought to light. You see, the ultimate prize is survival. The Super Dragon Balls were just a side gift, yet we get constant reminders as each person explains their desire to win the Super Dragon Balls. Simply put, this present on the side has just put a happy light on the dark erasings of complete universes. Okay, sure, it's a kid's show, I get that, but the fact remains, the weight of the situation isn't nearly as heavy. Look at it this way. Did you ever feel that sick to your stomach kind of sadness when someone lost their life in Dragon Ball Z? You probably ended up just pushing it off. No big deal. We'll just wish them back with the Dragon Balls. The same applies to us now. Who cares if they get erased? Goku can just wish them all back after he gets the win all main characters deserve. But also look at the space they are fighting in. It's completely different from what we're used to seeing. Even when the fighters went to different planets, as was the case with Frieza, for instance. You saw all the things that Earth had. The sky might be a different color, but there was still a sky with birds flying through the clouds and a sun shining down on them. There were still trees and grass and dirt, cliffs, water, and animals all around them. Constant reminders of the place they were fighting to save. The tournament between Universe 6 and Universe 7 was the original introduction to fighting in a space with none of these reminders present. But there's a huge difference between that tournament and the Tournament of Power. Champa and Beerus had started all of this basically for the fun of it, and the lack of those reminders reflected in the lightheartedness of their fight. Let's not forget what they were fighting for either. The Super Dragon Balls. A silly fight for a silly prize. See what I mean? All of these things have lessened the true panic that the Zenos have created. But finally, we saw it. The sweat dripping from Goku's forehead and the squinch between his eyebrows. That glaring fear in his eyes has become crucial to the Tournament of Power, because it's the one thing that's done Goku's character justice during this arc. And now that Goku is being pushed into his third Ultra Instinct occurrence, it's finally coming to light again. As Jiren declared his true personality through the first smile we've ever seen on that emotionless face, Goku uttered a single, meaningful word, Jiren. You could hear it in his voice. The pain of seeing a man letting go of those he called his friends and instead depending on himself. You could hear the fear of the unknown power that Jiren was about to release. But more importantly, you could see all of this in his face and in the sudden change back into his base form. All of these things seem to scream, what do I do now? The display of Goku's Goku's struggle has returned. But this time, Goku isn't the one under fire. It can't be his own life in danger, pushing him into Ultra Instinct this time around. The emotions we've seen finally return from the brave warrior we first came to know and love is the key. Very soon we'll be reminded of a time Goku held his arms up in panic. He wouldn't let Vegeta down. Goku kept begging his comrade to hold on, but then Vegeta took the last blow that he could handle. With wide eyes, Goku looked above him. The attack finally was complete, and just like then, Vegeta is being forced into the same dreadful situation again. This time, however, it's uncertain of how much Vegeta will be able to take, as the Prince of Saiyans stalls time for Goku to gain all the energy needed to access Ultra Instinct just one last time. We're left to desperately wonder, will the same end result also be repeated? Well, in my Discord server, they helped me answer that, the Super Active Anifam. Use the link in the pinned comment to join the Discord server.